Hello and welcome to Stories Around the Fire. Tonight's guest is Elizabeth, who I have known for I think about 4 or 5 years. We work together and she is such a delight. She is a writer who is currently teaching and earning her master's degree at University of Arkansas. She attended Booker T, which I've talked about before because of how many great contributions they end up having and giving to the creative world. She has been a dancer and theater actress for much of her life, as well as served on her university's homecoming court, been in all kind of active stuff all throughout high school and also at University of Arkansas. So tonight we're going to talk to her a little bit about some of her creative processes, where she's been, where she's going, what she's doing. And let me add her. Hi,
Yeah.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
So good. Thank you so much for being here
Of course.
doing this. um, sorry.
You're fine.
It's not the Rona. I just got a negative test, so
Congrats.
good deal.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a tickle in my throat. The allergies are getting bad in Arkansas, so I feel you.
Oh, all that nature
Yeah.
comes with a price.
Yes.
All right, so I'll go ahead and get started. So how are things? We're, talking about the pandemic. How are things at your school? How is it going there with all of that?
It's going well. It's kind of interesting because I'm on both sides. I'm both teaching and being a student at the same time. So, from a teaching standpoint, the kids are definitely, or the students, I'm sorry, they're college, not kids. The students are definitely handling it as best that they can. Of course, we have cases like every campus. The university has done a really good job at making sure that everybody has what they need as far as quarantining and making sure that every student is being taken care of. So the students are, from a health standpoint, doing well, doing okay. It's weird being a teacher because I'm trying to navigate how to teach a course online, but also, trying to make sure that they're mentally in the right space because I have freshmen, so this is their first time on campus. And I've been trying to be very gentle with them and choosing literature and texts and things like that that kind of relate to what they're going through as students. So I think that's been helpful. But as a student, it's challenging at a university because, I mean, we're a university with 30,000 students. We have a big population, but it's just really difficult because you can get lost in the mix very easily. And this being my first year of graduate school, it's a whole new ballgame. I have to navigate a whole new set of classes and things to get involved with. So it's been a challenge, but I think it's a valuable challenge for sure.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
sounds like you're feeling the responsibility of taking care of the kids. The
Hmm.
kids.
Yeah. It's the kids. Yeah.
Right. So when did you decide to go to that college, that university?
Yeah. So it's an interesting story because I was originally going to go to a different university, which I think whenever I was working with you, I was going to
That's
go
what.
to University of Alabama. Yeah. And I think it was maybe March. I was set to go to Alabama. I was so excited, and something in me just kind of told me, hey, this isn't exactly where you need to be. Um,
Right.
And so I started exploring my options again. And my dad and I just took a trip up to the University of Arkansas in like late March of 2016, and I loved it. I felt at home. I met some of the creative writing faculty, and they treated me not just like some, measly freshman, but they really showed an interest in wanting to hone my potential and things like that.
Hmm.
So I felt like I belonged here. And I came here. August of 2016 was really hard. I didn't feel like I belonged anymore. I felt really scared, which I think is what a lot of people feel when they're entering that kind of environment. But I started getting involved on campus. I started getting involved in my sorority, Alpha Chi. I was on their executive board. I became the vice president of the Panhellenic Council. I became a tour guide. I just started getting involved in things that really piqued my interest. And
Mhm.
by the end of my time here in May of 2020, I was looking at all my graduate school offers because, the pandemic was ramping up, and I decided, okay, this is my time to really develop my craft and to choose a program where I can spend a considerable amount of time learning to be a better writer. So May rolls around, and I'm trying to find my place and where I need to commit to. And I couldn't bear leaving the University of Arkansas. It's my home. So I signed on for another 4 years, which I'm excited about. Yeah.
So what are you going to do with your degree?
So I'm kind of thinking about two different options right now. And I think the beauty of going to a 4 year master's program is that I'll have time to figure that out,
Yeah.
which I like.
Mhm.
But so one plan is I'll get my Master of Fine Arts degree, and I will hopefully have a collection of poems. And so I'm hoping this will be my debut collection, and I will find some way to publish it, and hopefully be able to publish my first collection, which will kind of set me on the route of being a poet. I would love to be a professor in poetry. So, another plan would be to go on to get my PhD, either in creative writing or English. So, I would love to stay in the higher education, I guess, atmosphere. So, those are kind of my two different things that I'm considering.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you. That's so
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. So you're teaching now. You're teaching freshmen. What are you teaching?
Composition one. So it's the introductory writing course.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, and I have a really great group of students. They're all really interested. They're really great students. I just got super lucky with the students that I have. So yeah, it's pretty good.
That's so cool. That's awesome. So I know some of your plans you just told us were writing poetry. Do you have any other like writing plans, like journalism or like books, like storybooks?
Yeah. I think so. The beauty of writing, in my opinion, is that there's so much room to experiment,
Hmm.
your voice, and to apply your craft to other crafts. And as you know, I have dance training from Booker T, and I would love to do a lot of projects with dance and poetry and seeing how those two crafts interact. So maybe in the future, working with dance companies to develop work for pieces for choreography,
Wow.
like Alvin Ailey, they do a lot of like poetry and that sort of like interdisciplinary work. But I've also thought about children's books, which is it's kind of random, but I started working at a preschool last year, and just some of the kids that I work with are so funny, and they
Hmm.
just have such wild imaginations, that I almost want to write down some of the things that they tell me and turn them into like plots of some kind. Um,
That would be.
yeah, so I have an iPad. It's a really old iPad, but it works. And I've been just like doodling some of the stuff that the kids have talked about and like their imaginary friends and things like that. And that's kind of helped me develop a skill that relates to my writing in a different way. So yeah, children's books might be a thing in the future too. So,
That would be awesome.
yeah,
I feel like there's good money to be made there too, with the right books.
yes.
Not just looking at everything as like, money, but
Hey, a girl's though, yeah.
right, right. So do you think, as far as you teaching, do you think that the stress is um, a good thing? Has it made you feel, like the responsibility of it all, especially now with everything going on? Is it something that you can like feed off of, or is it kind of overwhelming sometimes, or both?
Right. Yeah. Teaching in a pandemic, especially being a first time teacher in a pandemic, is really strange. And at first, when I was getting all of my course materials and moving into my Blackboard site, the organization that we use for like grades and stuff, it was overwhelming at first because I felt like this was too big of a task for me. But I took a step back and I remembered that this is the most important education I can get as a teacher. I will learn how to teach under pressure. I'll learn how to be compassionate towards students and be understanding by meeting them halfway, which I think is a really essential part of teaching any age. Um, I've also learned how to manage my time because I'm sitting in a room and Tuesdays and Thursdays, especially, I'm working from 9 to 5. I get online school,
Wow.
yeah, and then I have my office hours and then I teach. And I teach 2 courses back to back. So, what that's taught me is to kind of take it moment by moment and to not think about, when I'm in class, oh no, like who's going to come to my office hours or how am I going to explain this, text to my students or what are my students going to think about this activity. I have to be in the moment and be present because I have so much to do in that span of time. Um, and if I'm worried about something else in the future, I'm not giving myself 100% to whatever's right in front of me. So if I'm teaching my first class and I'm worried about what my second class is going to be thinking of this activity or something's not going well in that first class, I'm not being of service to my students in that first class. So living in the moment, that's really been the theme. But just teaching in the pandemic has been such an eye-opening experience. Um, I was a student in the pandemic. I was graduating in May. So I know what it's like to be in these freshmen's shoes. And I just have to keep reminding myself that this is their first time in college. And the most important thing that I can do as a teacher is to just be compassionate and to be gentle with them because we're all going to make mistakes. We're all going through something. So yeah, I mean it's overwhelming, but I think it's a lesson on vulnerability and time management and love more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're handling it well.
Yeah, I mean it's
Mhm.
been a really really valuable experience. And I mean I certainly would wish that we weren't in a pandemic, but
Right.
um, I really believe that this is the best moment for me to learn how to be a teacher, and I've been given this moment, so I'm going to use it as best I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. That's great. So I'm bouncing back and forth
That's
from subject to subject.
that's totally fine.
What advice would you give to high schoolers who maybe just were using writing as like just their little like side creative outlet and were considering, hey, maybe this is something that, I really want to get better at,
Yeah.
want to get great at, want to do something with? What advice would you give them?
Hmm. I think about this a lot because I think about if I had been given the opportunity to go back to my high school self, like what would I tell her? And I mean, because I was ridiculous as a high schooler. I mean, like you remember,
Yeah, right.
oh gosh, but I think the biggest piece of advice that I would give high schoolers that are considering a career in writing is to know that you're always going to be afraid, but do it anyway. Because when you are seeking a career in the arts, you have to be vulnerable. You have to put yourself out there because there are workshops and master classes and so many different events that you are going to have the opportunity to attend to learn from all of these mentors. And it's scary. It's scary to put your work out there and to have someone look at it. Um,
Yeah.
but just know that everybody is afraid. Like I'm afraid every day. I'm afraid every single time I send one of my poems in for workshop. And
Mhm.
it's not because I don't think I don't belong in the workshop or because I don't believe that I've worked hard for this, but it's because it's personal. It came from me and it came solely from me. And that requires a level of bravery, and that's what makes us artists. Um, Artists have to be brave in order for their work to be successful because we're known to speak out and to create even in the face of intolerance and of fear. So, yeah, I would just say be brave because that's who we are as artists.
That's awesome. That's great advice.
Yeah, thanks.
Because, yeah, I think it is scary, you know? It's scary doing anything, but especially like you said, like it's a piece of yourself, you know?
Yeah, and when you're in high school, I mean, everything is like amped up.
Right?
Yeah, you think everybody's watching you, so yeah.
When not as many people are concerned with
Nope. Took me a
yeah.
while to learn that one.
So you're in everything. How do you like keep up with all the things you're into? Is this something you've always been in a ton of things and you're just used to like rolling on a schedule, or did you really have to like buckle down on it?
Yeah, I think I work best in chaotic environments. I often tell people I thrive in chaos. Like that's my slogan. Um, I would definitely attribute that to my dance education and my dance training. So I danced from the time I was like 3 up until high school, and I seriously trained intensely every single day. And I would be in dance for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, get home around 9, and have to do homework and, have to complete all of these things that I would have otherwise completed like right after school. So dance taught me to manage my time because I had to share my schedule with these intense dance classes and my homework and family responsibilities and things like that.
Right.
So as far as being in a graduate program now, um, I'm exhausted all the time. I'm only 4 weeks in, and I'm waking up earlier than I ever have before. Um,
Oh.
but I mean, I really do like the busy schedules because it keeps me on track, and I like to plan and I like to schedule things. So
Mhm.
if I know from this time to this time I'm doing this, and then I'm going to do this, it helps me kind of keep my mind like sane and just keep me.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean it can be difficult. So I think I do well in these busy
It's
environments.
balance. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, what are a few things you consider essential for someone to read if they want to write, like books or articles, whatever?
Do you mean um like pieces of literature and stuff for people? Okay. Hmm. I would say, and this is actually, it's funny because I actually just taught this in my class, but How to Read Like a Writer by Mike Bunn. It's an essay you can find on, any website basically. I would say that's a really good way to learn how to effectively read something. But as far as like pieces of literature and works of art, um, I would definitely say Shakespeare. I'm a big Shakespeare girl. And um, some people might disagree, but I do think Shakespeare is the backbone of a lot of themes in literature and a lot of common practices in literature now. So
Yeah.
Shakespeare sonnets, especially, I would for sure say um, Emily Dickinson. Anything by Emily Dickinson too. She's she's one of my homegirls for sure. I'm gonna mainly stick to poetry because that's what I know best. But so Emily Dickinson, I would say Walt Whitman. Um, if we're going chronologically, Walt Whitman. And then more modern day voices, I would say Claudia Rankin, her collection Citizen, Terrence Hayes, who's a poet and is absolutely fabulous, Maggie Smith and her collection Good Bones, and her forthcoming collection Keep Moving. So a little
I think you posted some of her stuff, yeah?
yeah, I love Maggie Smith. Um, I would say those, if you are looking to expose yourself, especially to poetry, I would recommend those voices. I mean, there are so many voices and so many people that I can't even think of off the top of my head. But those are the people who've influenced me.
Yeah.
Another being Seamus Heaney, um, which I think Joe Biden has mentioned him a couple of times. He's given him some promos, so maybe anyone has heard that name. But Seamus Heaney has a lot of good work too. So yeah, I know that's like kind of not exactly the answer, but
No, that's good. That's good stuff. That's perfect. So I'm bouncing back again.
fine.
Um, Having gone to Booker T,
hmm
how did that change your outlook on the arts as a whole?
Wow. Booker T changed my life for sure. I mean, it changed the direction of my life completely. I would not be at the University of Arkansas. I wouldn't be in the MFA program without Booker T for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, huge shout out to that school. Um, but I would say Booker T taught me that you're not confined just to your art. Um, Booker T is often called a family. You'll hear people say the Booker T family a lot. And even though we were separated by clusters, so dance, visual arts, music, and theater, we had to take courses in other disciplines. And we would have a whole day dedicated to trying different art forms. Dancers would be, yeah, like dancers would print make or do printmaking. Dancers would play the drums and musicians would take a theater class. I remember having to like put on a mask in a theater class and like pretend I was a character. And so those experiences and that exposure to different artists, it taught me that art survives best when you are working as a community. So I would do a lot of work with poetry and dance. So one thing that comes to mind is we would have a show every year called Creations. And you would have to work with another student or group of students from a different discipline. So, I mean, I kind of cheated because I was a dancer, but I worked with a dancer. But this one dancer, Nikki Samrath, we worked together and I created a poem in response to Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And it was so cool. We dropped like feathers from the top of the stage, and Nikki was like dancing in this really cool, like gold colored costume while I read. And that experience was so unique because we learned how to respond to each other. He learned how to dance to the rhythm of my voice, and I learned how to listen to his breath as I spoke and as I read my poem, so that I could pace myself. And we created this kind of rhythm. And I think that's the perfect example of what Booker T has taught me about art is that art responds to all sorts of disciplines. You could say poetry and music are linked inextricably, which is very true. Um, Dance and music for sure are linked. You could say visual arts and writing are linked. So every art form somehow responds to another. And I think that when artists create with the intention for other art forms to respond to their work, it creates just a much more powerful link, if that makes sense. But
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
yeah. So I think that's the biggest takeaway from Booker T for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That place, it just sounds so great. Just,
it was
I
the
haven't
best. If I
and
could go back, oof, I would. And not many people say that they go back to high school, but I would go back to high school.
that good, huh?
Oh yeah,
That's awesome. It seems like a great place.
it is. Yeah.
So, what does your 5-year plan look like and your 10-year plan?
Ooh, man. See, it'd be funny if you asked me this like 4 years ago because I mean, it would be so different. So don't take my word on this because it may change, but I would say my 5 year plan. So in 5 years, I'll be 27. So I'll be right out of my MFA. I hope to either be working on publishing my poetry collection or in the process of publishing it, somehow having that going. Um, I hope to be teaching still, whether that is being in a PhD program and being a teaching assistant that way, teaching high school, teaching college if by some miracle I'm hired by a college as well. Um, so I hope that teaching is also in that 5 year plan. Um, because I think that's kind of where my life direction is going. Um, and then 10 years, I hope to be Dr. Muscari. I hope. I hope
Yeah.
to have a doctorate. And I hope to be teaching poetry. I I hope to be having those meaningful conversations with poetry students, and kind of repaying my mentors for what they helped me do, which was become a poet. Um, I hope to have collections published and to have my students referencing my work the way that I reference my mentor's work. Um, our director of the MFA program, Davis McCombs, I always joke and say that I want to be Davis McCombs when I grow up. But it's
Oh,
true. I really hope to be Davis McCombs. I hope to be in a creative writing program, working and teaching and contributing to this artistic conversation of poetry and interdisciplinary studies and things like that.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you'll go and do whatever you put your mind to because you are just brilliant and lovely. And I'm so serious. I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you.
Um, you are so well spoken and you have so much drive. And I can't wait to see what you do.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
proud of everything you've already done. you know,
Thank you so much, VJ.
I can't wait to see all the things. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm excited. This is like, it feels like I'm at the beginning of a really exciting journey.
I think
Uh,
you are.
yeah, which is a good feeling. It's a good feeling to hold on to in a pandemic when not much is really happening. But
Right. Your sanity.
yeah,
Good stuff is gonna happen. It's happening now, but there's a little stuff going on the side.
yeah, yeah.
A little small amount,
Just
yeah.
just a little.
So I gotta ask though, if you weren't writing, what would you do?
Ooh, you're hitting me with these hard hitting questions. Hmm. If I weren't writing, I think. I mean, writing has been just such a big part of my life.
Right.
I think I would be dancing. Um, I still dance. I still love to dance. I'm sorry, there's a train that goes by, so if you hear a train, sorry about that. Um, but yeah, dance has always been a really important part of my life, and I've always enjoyed it. So I think that I would be either teaching dance, or maybe studying dance in a BFA or MFA program.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I think I'd probably be a dancer. So yeah.
So definitely something artistic.
Right, yeah. I don't think I'm the type of person to be in anything besides the arts. Um, and I mean, you hear artists say this all the time that they can't imagine a life without the arts. Um, and so yeah, I would definitely somehow be part of arts education, whether that was in dance or I don't know, maybe I'd be working at Booker T if they'd have me
That
back.
would be awesome. That would be so cool. So after I ask everyone questions, I also ask for a story.
Right.
You have a story that you can tell us.
I was thinking about this because I knew you'd probably ask me, and I thought about telling like a fun story about the arts, but I think I want to tell a story that happened while we were working together. I don't know if you were there for this,
Okay.
but I'm sure there's like video evidence somewhere of this. Um, it's oh god. Okay, so it was at the movie theater, and there was like a that big popcorn machine, and
I'm ner-
what?
I'm nervous.
It's like if I still worked at the movie theater, I probably wouldn't tell this story.
Well, remember, I might, like I'm waiting on it to open back up.
Okay, this it was not our fault at all. But those big butter bags, um,
Oh,
you know the
yeah.
story. So I think it was Ellie, me, and Abby. I think we were the three working, and we were told that we needed to replace the butter. I don't think we knew how to, or we might have forgotten. But so we like took the empty butter bag out, and we were like putting the new bag in, and like it just like popped completely, and like
I was not there for that.
no, there was like this huge bag of butter, and it just starts spilling everywhere. And the floors are kind of like that tile, and so I mean, we don't know what to do. Like Ellie's cradling the butter bag like it's some like child. Like I'm screaming, like looking at the cameras, being like, "Where's the manager?" And like Abby's trying to get a broom or like paper towels or something. And on the video, you can just see us like slipping and sliding, and like we don't know what to do. We don't know how to clean it up. We're putting water down, and like water and oil for sure don't work. So we're like putting oil down, or we're putting water down, we're spraying the bleach bottles, we're like putting paper towels down, we're putting paper towels on our feet, trying to like walk over it. Meanwhile, like customers are coming in, so I'm like trying to be at the counter, like, "Hi, I'm so sorry, our popcorn machine is down right now." Meanwhile, like Abby and Ellie are like screaming in the back with this oil just like bleeding out. Oh god. I mean, like that that was an insane time. I don't even really remember how we resolved it. I think maybe somebody had to have come and helped us.
Yeah.
But we were just like looking at the video evidence, like laughing because like of course this happens. Of course. Like the three teenagers working behind the counter, of course this is gonna happen to us. And I think the floors must have been like slippery the whole day because like I was wearing those
Probably
like
day after.
yes, I was wearing like these tennis shoes that had been like run down so much that you'd like slip whenever it was raining, and I just like I'd have to like not move my feet at all and like buckle my knees basically in order to like stay afloat.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. I can just imagine. I was not there because I definitely would have remembered that.
I'm somewhere the tapes or whatever you'll be able to find it somehow.
So, yeah, they've implemented some new rules, like only managers do that now.
Probably because of us, honestly.
That's so funny. I'm sorry that happened to you though.
It's funny to look back, and I don't think anybody held it against us, which is the good thing. 'Cause,
No, no, I haven't. No residual comments or anything, so I don't
good,
think so.
good.
Oh, that's funny. The theater has um, many stories within it.
Oh yes, yes.
It is a collection of random, crazy. I was gonna say like unfortunate, but it's not always bad.
I mean, it was fun working there. I had a really good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I, it's fun. It's fun. It's great. I love it. No, it is. I do. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah,
Um, so a game. Would you like to play a game?
sure. I'm kind of
Okay.
scared, but let's do it.
Well, I try to like cater all the games to the type of person. That did not. Mm-mm, that didn't come out right. Like musicians get like lyric, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so anyways, I've done this one once before. Um, it's like a word game.
Okay.
Uh, I'll give you a category and then you'll have 5 seconds to name something that falls into that category. But there's a catch. Whatever you name must begin with the same first letter of the category.
Okay.
For instance, if I say food, you could say French fries or froyo, since they both begin with F.
Okay.
Proper nouns and names with multiple words can include answers beginning with another letter as long as at least one word begins with the same as the category.
Okay.
And that was a lot of. For instance, if I say book, an acceptable answer would be beach house, even though not both of them start with B.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so your first category is snack.
Okay. I'm scared.
Oh, your first category is snack.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm like over here like waiting for the letter. Okay, snack. Saltines.
Oh, look at you. State.
State. Arkansas, California. Oh shoot. South Dakota. There we go.
Country.
Czech Republic.
Wow. Drink.
Drink. Diet Coke.
Movie.
My Girl.
Song.
Oh, song. Oh, why can't I think of a song that starts with S? Why can't I think of a song that starts with S?
You want to pass and come back?
Yeah, we'll come back.
Car.
Camaro.
Animal.
Why am I blanking on animals? Um, Ant. Is that, well, that's not really an animal, but we'll just go with it. It's fine.
That'll work.
Anteater, I guess.
Toy.
Huh?
Toy.
Does Tonka count? Okay. All right, Tonka.
Dance.
Like a type of dance?
Hmm. Or a dance move.
Dougie. I knew that one.
Brand.
My mom has got to stop putting answers in here. Um,
Who's helping?
she's like, I'm here to help my daughter. Okay,
Yeah.
brand. I guess Raisin Bran doesn't count.
I mean, it is a brand.
My mom says okay.
Aw, no, help her. She needs help.
I'm like, I get so nervous for games. I'm like, oh no, I don't have any words in my brain anymore.
All right, we're going with Raisin Bran for a brand.
That's fine with me.
Bands.
Bands, Beach Boys.
Singer.
Singer, I mean Taylor Swift, but that's her
Oh,
name. It counts?
it counts, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Um, College.
Cornell.
Tools.
Tools.
Are you out of your element?
So out of my element. I know hammer, wrench. I to-
You want to come back to tools?
toy hammer. That's my answer.
All right. I'll take it. Plants.
Plants, palm tree.
Language.
Language, Lithuanian.
Pets.
Parrot.
Authors.
Anne Lamott.
Clothing.
Clothing. Cardigan.
Look at you. All right. What did we miss? Song. We're going back to song. You're skipped one.
Oh, Style by Taylor Swift. There we go.
All right. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
That was
I'll give
probably
you a pass.
that was probably like the worst game participant.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, you did great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this. I want to share, like, where can people find your stuff?
So my website, I'm currently redoing it, so it's under construction. But when it's back up and running, it will be www.elizabethmuscari.com. So same as my username with just a .com. But yeah, I'm working on putting some new stuff up there, so it'll probably be up and running probably by early October again.
Nice.
Yeah, and then people can, I guess, follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, where I'll post publications and things like that. And also follow the Arkansas MFA program Facebook for happenings on
Ooh,
what's going on in the program if anyone's interested.
very cool.
Yeah.
So Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is just your name,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then your website is your name,
Wit.com.
.com.
Yeah.
And then University of Arkansas.
Program in creative writing and translation.
Got it.
Yep. It's a long one.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, well, at least there's like you can rewind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rewind it and take that down.
Right.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm super proud of you. I cannot wait to see and read all the things that you create.
Well, thank
And
you.
I'm so glad that you're teaching, because I think teachers, professors, guidance counselors, whoever, they are so important in, everyone's life. I mean, that is one of the most important things I feel like that people can do. It is
Yeah.
one of the most noblest. Is that the right way
Yeah.
to say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
English teacher. Is that the right way? Yeah. Yeah, things that you can do. And I'm super proud of you. And thank you so much for coming and doing this.
Well,
And
thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you so much.
oh, I miss you.
Miss
And I
you.
can't wait to see everything.
Yeah,
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah, I'll keep
Thanks so much
following
for
you.
watching.
So, yeah, thank you.
Yes, we will follow you. And whenever you do whatever you do, I'll post it on here and
Perfect.
share it.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, BJ.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank y'all
Thanks.
for watching.
Yeah,
Good night. Bye.
bye.